Okay, the next question that she had addressed was, what would it take for you to believe in God? Oop, excuse me, wrong one. I had already done that one. Would the world be a better place without religion? And she goes on to say, yes, that would be one less form of controlling the masses. I don't think it's a form of controlling the masses. I think it gives us the basis of what to believe in, and that in the end there is something to look forward to after death, which none of us will ever know. And I believe that religious also gives us the basis of morality, which was the first question. And I think without religion there would be a lot more trouble in this world. There would be a lot more wars, there would be a lot more murder, rapes, and everything else like that, that goes on in our world. And Chris and two other video bloggers had made a video, kind of acting like they were talking on the phone to each other, saying, "Oh, wouldn't the world be like so much better if with religion around? I mean, we wouldn't have all this war and everything." I mean, they kind of go on. It was a kind of a sarcastic view on religion, and I think they were just being being condescending, because, like I said, I think if it weren't for religion, there would be no fear in something, in consequences and everything else, just like law. I mean, look at the Ten Commandments. I mean, I think it's funny we need, thousands of laws to, cover 10, I think that's kind of funny, and a lot of people, they don't do anything wrong because there's a law for it. If it's wrong to do, they won't do it, of course. And of course, that part of that is instilled onto them by their parents and grandparents and our ancestors that are around us. So, I mean, like it or not, religion does affect everything. So, I think without religion, this world would be a lot worse off. So, regardless. And I think with certain extremist sides of religion, I think the world could do without. Like the Westboro Baptist Church, I think they really, really have a narrow-minded view of Christ and the Holy Bible. They take only passages and warp them to their own views. I've actually heard one of them say God does not preach about love, and Jesus says during his sermon, he says the greatest thing you can ever do for someone is to love them. Love your enemies, forgive them. And if everyone were to do that, then we wouldn't have a need for any enemies, because who's going to say no to you, if all you do is do things for them, and just out of the kindness of your heart, And if everyone did that, I think the world would be a better place. And then religion gives us that, and the Holy Bible gives us that. Jesus Christ gives us that. And he did all that through his sacrifice on the cross. So, yes, I believe this world would be very, very much worse off without, religion. So, okay, here's the last one. Okay. The last question I wanted to address was, why is stem cell research so important? And she said to cure human deficiencies and diseases. I definitely agree with that, but at the same time, I don't believe we should take stem cells from aborted fetuses. That'd be like me going into, right after your grandmother had died, and going in there and just taking her hand, to transplant onto somebody else without your permission or anybody else's permission or her permission. I think that's what it would equate to. I know that's a little extreme, but sometimes a little extreme is what you got to do to kind of get your point across. But like I said, as long as those stem cells aren't, taken from aborted fetuses, then I think it's fine. Abortion is wrong to begin with. Life starts right at conception. That's when the, cell division begins, and, and everything starts becoming its own thing. And we need to protect life. And I think we can also do that through stem cell research. And stem cells can also be taken from cord blood and from the placenta. And I believe if everyone said, go ahead and take the cord blood for the stem cells that exist there, then I believe we would have a lot more stem cells to deal with. And we'd be able to cure a lot of different things. I had a friend of mine. She had what was that? She had something with the lungs, but she died a few years ago because she needed a lungs transplant. She had like cysts and stuff in her lungs. The name of the disease just completely escapes me right now. But she died before she was 25. And I think that is wrong. I think through stem cell research, she could have been saved. But I believe there's better ways of getting those stem cells. So, in closing, I'd like to say that a lot of these questions that Chris answered, I think she's entirely off, and she's not really doing her research and her homework into the religion of Christianity. But I also, at the same time, a couple of her answers were, I think, were spot on. What is, let's see, let me go back here. What is the greatest thing you've ever done for others? And of course, the stem cell question. I think those two questions right there, she kind of hits spot on. I mean, of course, we want to help people, we want to cure people, and everything else like that. And I think the greatest thing we could ever do for someone is help them. And I think that boils down to our purpose in life. I hope some of you have actually really listened to this video and taken it, for what it is. And I hope none of you are going to be bigoted enough to post condescending remarks or flammable remarks or anything like that to insult myself or the Christian religion. And Amazing Atheist and ZOMGitscriss, I hope you guys actually watch this entire video, and I hope to have a conversation with you guys one of these days, and maybe we can sit down, maybe not sit down, but maybe we can talk back and forth and actually have a proper discussion. You can tell me your views, I can tell you mine, and you can counteract them with your views, and I can counter them with mine. But my goal is to help change people's minds, and I hope I've addressed some of those issues, and I hope I've changed some ideas and some questions in people's minds. With this, I bid you adieu.